Hey, what's up, my soldiers? This is Wobbly Honor. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the many changes that are going to be happening next year in our military. Now, I was going to do this video today in my room. I have my whole setup. I got my laptop up there, ready to go. But I'm actually going to do this on the go. I'm going to grab some food real quick, but I'm going to take you guys with me. So every year, the military, well, I guess the Senate, has to propose a bill that basically authorizes the military to use money. So this year, it's called the National Defense Authorization Act, and they do this every year. This year, they made a bunch of different changes, and it's been a lot of talk about it, and people are really getting upset about it, some of the things that are happening. One of those big changes is the changes to what's called BAH, or the Basic Allowance for Housing. BAH is basically a stipend of money that's given to families and single airmen that live off base, and you can use that money for your house or your apartment. Now, the way BAH works is that they survey your general area of wherever you're stationed. Oh sweet, I think there's a C-17 coming down. Hang on, I'm gonna stop the video for a second. It's gonna be awesome. Wait for it. A few more seconds. There it is. I love the Air Force. Alright, so I'm gonna explain how BAH works now. Basically, if you live off base and you live in an apartment, the Air Force is gonna give you a certain amount of money and you can spend that on your apartment and keep whatever is left. So what the Air Force will do, or I guess the military in general, it doesn't matter what military branch you're in, they're going to survey the general area around your base, and they're going to say, okay, it usually costs about $1,000 to rent an apartment. So we're going to give you $1,000, spend it on whatever you want, basically. So you can live in a $700 apartment or $1,000, whatever you want, and whatever you spend and whatever you have left over out of that stipend, you can just pocket that money. So if you live in a $700 apartment, you get to pocket that extra $300. They see that that's kind of an issue because you can live in an RV. Some people actually do. You can live in an RV and just pay the $100, $150 just to park it and, you know, have the plumbing plugged up and electricity, and then just keep that extra $800. And so people are really hemorrhaging this benefit and this stipend, and the government doesn't like that when people, you know, take advantage of the money or just are earning too much money. So what they're going to do, here's the big change, and here's where people are getting a little bit upset. Instead of giving you the $1,000 to just live wherever, you're going to now have to report where you live and how much money you spend in rent, and then the government is only going to give you that much money. So say you live in a $700 apartment, they're only going to give you $700. You're not going to get to pocket any extra money. And so people who have been building their budget and kind of living their life based on the fact that they know that they're going to get that extra $300 a month, they're going to have to make a lot of changes because now you don't have that extra couple $100. Now, in my opinion, I understand why that can be an issue because in some places, the BAH is way off. Like, you can be earning way more money than you should be. And I think that, you know, it should be fair. I think that it's a reasonable way to cut money. At least you're still able to live in a decent place. They're not saying you can only, you know, live in, you know, some crappy house. You can still be competitive in most cases. Some places, if the BAH is way higher than it needs to be, and in some cases the BAH is way lower than it needs to be, and so the whole system kind of needs to be revamped and looked at again. Another big detail, I don't know if I made this clear, but they're not going to give you as much as wherever you live. There's still going to be a cap, so they're still going to say you only have $1,000 to spend. If you live anywhere more than that, then you're still going to have to come out of pocket with it. They're not saying live wherever you want, we'll pay for it. They're saying live wherever you want under this amount of money, and we'll give you that amount of money. I just foresee people living in $1,000 apartments. They're just going to take as much as they can. Since you're not going to give them the cash, they're just going to live in a better place. So that's the first big change to the BAH. The second big change is to what's called mil-to-mil relationships. So if you are in the military and you are married to another person in the military, this is how it works now. You get paid BAH and your spouse also gets paid BAH. So you would equally earn $2,000. So I would earn $1,000, she would earn $1,000. We can go and buy a $2,000 or rent a $2,000 place. The problem with that is that we could both be living in a $1,000 apartment and pocket that extra $1,000. That's a lot of money to be earning and to not be using. The government doesn't like that, like I said before. So what they're gonna do, here's the big change, they're only gonna give you the amount of BAH of the higher ranking person. So say I'm a staff sergeant and I get married to a lower ranking senior airman, we're both not going to get BAH. I'm going to get BAH and she's not going to get anything. Is it fair? I don't know. I'll leave that to you all. What do you all think? Do you think that this is a fair judgment? If this is a fair call and a fair way to cut people's stipends? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. I should also mention that they're not only just going to be cutting our stipends, they're going to try to give us a small raise of 1.6%, which doesn't compete to the private sector, which is 2.1%. So, I mean, it's still not there yet, but at least it's something. At least it's the 1.6%. They're not going to just keep our base pay the same and then also cut our basic allowance for housing. Other changes are also happening in the military. There's also going to be changes to our retirement system, which I'm also going to make a video about, and there's also going to be changes to the draft. They're proposing that women should sign up for the draft. So how do you all feel about that as well? So this is the draft, the BAH, and retirement. Hopefully your recruiters have been telling you all about this. If not, then they're kind of doing you a disservice. You all should be up to date on the biggest changes in the Air Force and really in the military in general, because this is DoD wide. It's not just the Air Force, it's also the Marines, Army, and Navy, and Coast Guard. So what do you guys think about BAH and the draft? How do you guys feel about it? If you guys have any questions, make sure you leave them down in the comment box below. I'll try my best to answer them. I got all my information from military.com for this vlog. If you guys want to check that out, I'll leave the link in the description down below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.